Oh, snap. I got the
You
power. Eh, eh, eh. I got the power. Bam, bam. You don't know nothing about Snap, do you?
come on, man. Don't now see now you playing with me. Now you playing with me.
Why I always got to be playing, dog? There was two
Because
versions of that joint too, right? It was like
it's getting
it's
kind
getting
of
kind of hectic. Yeah, it's
well,
the
there was an
Snap version.
extended version of it
No, there was like a whole nother group did their own version of "I Got the
when
Power."
Shorty left because they had the fake. So that was like Milli Vanilli before Milli Vanilli. So it was a big woman that was singing that. She sang that, and Everybody Dance Now. It was a big
Yes.
woman, but they used somebody
Wait,
else.
there was a
And
big girl
so,
that sung "Everybody Dance Now" from CNC Music Factory.
yeah, that wasn't her. And
Nah,
so, oh,
because
maybe
I got the power with Snap. What's the name of the group?
right. Yeah, I did the wrong one. I was thinking about. I thought she did the same thing. I thought. You sure she didn't sing both songs?
She could
I
have.
think it's the same woman.
I mean, like they used to use back in the day. They would use the big girls' voices in the studio, but then put somebody
Yes.
else in the video. Remember
Right.
Kelly Price used to get mad. Remember she got mad at Diddy for "More Money, More Problems."
No,
And
I don't remember that.
well, they would only show her face on the TV screen, but never her body. And this is when Kelly Price was more of the heavy set. What's going on, faithful? It is Victory Monday out there. And usually, sometimes we'll overreact from the show because Mike and I don't get to do the overreaction show. So we'll overreact here. But when there's a situation that presents itself to the two of us, I feel like, Mike, no harm, no foul is the perfect platform for that particular type of situation. You know what I'm saying? And so, Mike, in this game, bump this game, Mike. How you doing? Because you text me. First of all, I hit you up all day yesterday, and you didn't respond not once. That's when I know Mike be mad at me because I don't be doing what he asked me to do. But when
I'm
I
calling
sit there
Cap
and
right
at
now.
you, Mike, when I at you in something, I expect immediate ambulance 911
You
response.
you text me, you messaged me twice.
That's more than you messaged me.
In the same minute. It was really once. It was just you finish your thought.
No. It was. I said it twice.
And then I responded twice and you ain't respond.
Yeah, because you ain't respond when I asked you to respond. I was over it.
I don't look at my phone during the games like that.
But I know you check your Twitter during the games, and I added you twice.
I
too.
don't. Oh, I still don't know what you're talking about. Wait, so what'd you say during the game? See, now I got to go find it because I didn't know that. I definitely don't look at my Twitter during the game.
Mike,
I don't do that. What? I'm looking now.
I'm just saying, Mike. It's like.
Oh, you sent the face off the tight ends.
Yo, we be on it, bro.
Like, talked about 3-4 stars on defense. I saw Khalid Davis. Yeah. Okay.
Tight ends take and it started like before George Kittle cooked. It started with a big Noah Fant first down play, and then it started with a tight end that we didn't even mention because he was third string, and Kobe Parkinson had the touchdown.
Yeah. Tight ends, man. Sometimes we be knowing what we're talking about. Sometimes we just be, people think,
we always know what we're talking about.
The show be delayed. It's automatically my fault. It is what it is. I understand. We're gonna get the reputation
Mike,
they want us to have.
98% of the time, Mike, it is your fault. 98. There's a point, just 2% where, what I'm saying, it'd be me, and I tell them, I'd be like, it's me, but they knew before you even came in here that you was late.
It wasn't my fault.
Okay, and nobody said it was your fault.
It was technically my fault, but it was my kid's fault. My daughter was on the toilet and her feet was asleep. I had to go get her.
Oh no, that's the worst feeling, yo.
Yeah. So it wasn't my fault. I was ready, but I had the audio and everything was good, but she couldn't feel her feet. Was I supposed to leave her on there for the half-hour show? I couldn't do that. So
nah, because then she would have lost her whole limbs.
And then my wife would have came home and suplexed me.
And then you would have pushed her in the back of the head.
And then after I pushed her in the back of the head, she'd have got up and grabbed me by my face.
Oh, and then I would have came over there and pushed both of y'all.
And
Two
then
arm push.
boom.
And then I would have got disqualified.
And then we got thrown out.
Up, let me.
Yeah.
Mike, what a game though, right? Like, look, many people, it's a divisional game. Were you ever nervous in this game at any point? Just curious.
I mean, if there was a moment for me to be nervous, it was our second and third drives where we didn't do anything. I think we went 3 and out both times. I think it was 3 and outs after the opening drive. So you had the McCaffrey 72-yard run. And the next play was a 3-yard touchdown rush by Mason. And I think we went 3 and out twice. And so if there was nerves, it was that. But it was also very similar to what we did in Philly. It was very similar to what we did in Philly. The first 2 drives weren't real drives, and then we just flipped the switch and was like, all right, we back in there now.
Right, but that's a good thing because the Niners have a switch that they could flip.
Yes, and that's real now.
That's a great thing, right? Like I don't want to overlook the switch because I'm not talking about the grandma switch that we used to get with. I'm talking about there's a button that the Niners just flip. Like when you watch a team do something, I call it clapping back. Like the Niners have this clap back mentality where, all right, you did this, all right, I'm gonna come out here and do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you can see that the Seattle Seahawks did that on their first drive. Because Mike, I never seen a game where we scored on two plays. 2 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. Mike, this is the first time I think we won in years where we didn't have the time of possession on our side. Like we didn't win the time of the possession. I mean, they had it for 45 more seconds, but that's a lot. Like
right.
And we ran less plays.
We ran a lot less plays. First of all, when I realized that Brock Purdy had almost 400 yards of passing with only like 19 completions, I was like, wait a minute, are y'all telling me that he was completing almost 20 yards a completion? Like,
bro,
I kept seeing this stat going out there with like his yards per attempt.
Right.
Fuck the attempts. Oh, forget the attempts. What about the completion?
They give you both. There's both of them in there. Like Brock Purdy was slaying the ball, but listen, he had a couple of bad throws, a couple of missed throws, I thought. And he drops in. He had one drop. I felt like Juwan Jennings got to catch that third down pass. Or was that a tough pass to catch?
I think that was good coverage. I think that third down play was good coverage. I don't think that was
right in the, it was right in the breadbasket. He didn't come down with it, bro. Like literally caught it in the belly of the beast.
My man. Oh, you know what? That play pissed me off. Okay, watch this. Here we go. I forgot about this until right now. That ball, like you said, was in. It was. Let me lower my camera.
That's a catch though, Mike. Like that's a ball he catches.
That ball was right here.
It was
and you know why he didn't catch it? You know why he didn't catch it? Because instead of putting his hands like this, he tried to catch it like this. You can't catch a ball at your hips with palms down.
Fundamentals, bro. It'd be little.
I was so mad. Oh, and I'm mad you reminded me about that play. So yeah, that's on Juwan. That was on Juwan. That ball was right there. That ball was right, and there was good coverage, but he still could have caught that. He absolutely could have caught that. But to answer your first question, the only time I was really nervous was those first, the second and third drive.
I wasn't nervous though. I was trying to get the faithful to calm down, and on my Discord, I was predicting everything that was about to happen. It was too predictable for me. Like, watch we come out here and throw 3 pass plays on this particular drive because we didn't throw any on the other drive, so we just gonna go through. And then it was 3 pass plays.
But those first run and play, 72 yards, run play, 3 yards,
touchdown,
and then the next 2 drives, not a single pass to a wide receiver, not one. The next 2 drives.
Wait. In the last game, just like in the Philly game, not a single
2 drives, not a single touch by Christian McCaffrey.
And then we can't even get mad in this game because they don't overload Christian McCaffrey because the dude finished the game with like 16 carries.
Right, exactly.
For a $145.
Come on, man. Man.
When the 49ers are hitting on their explosives, and I know that the 49ers know Kyle Shanahan knows on every play it's a touchdown. Every play, it just got to be executed. And you could say that for every coach, but I don't think every coach think like that. I know they don't think like that because they're not as narcissistic as Kyle Shanahan is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Kyle's saying, like, look, if you do this block, and this ball, you throw this ball with this velocity to that accuracy to this acute angle of the isosceles triangle, and it's going to be a touchdown. Or if you hand the ball off to a 33-degree or something, it's going to be perfect. Like, that's Kyle Shanahan, right? And so when I look at Kyle Shanahan, I'm like, dang, yo, why did Brock Purdy in his presser say that, yo, we literally can score on every single play?
Because they believe that. They believe that.
That's some scary stuff, bro.
I don't believe it.
I believe it.
Cool.
I've been saying it.
It's cool that they say it.
But I know that you don't believe it because it's been yet to be proven. But I feel like they can do it. Like, they just gotta not get a false start on first down, not get a holding penalty on first down. I'm gonna call it like it is, yo. 8 penalties in this game, 5 of them which were called, and yet they still dominated in this game, Mike. They still dominated. They still dominated on all 3 levels. That's why I was never worried. Isaiah said, "Storm him out." Mike be on point. Mike always on point. But he just be late.
Let's go, baby. Let's see. Okay, keep it. Okay, all right. Okay. Miss Debbie, see, she thinks she's slick. Miss Debbie thinks she's slick.
Why?
Because she did this on both channels. She acting up.
Oh,
she acting up.
Love.
It is love. She says, "I love y'all, Wayne and Mike, for real. Y'all really are my brothers from another mother, for real, for real." And she doubled up. She did it on both channels. Miss Debbie, hold that thought, because I think I'm about to upset you. So she about to get me because, and we
Mike,
appreciate those.
Here's my poll question, right?
Here we go. What's the poll question?
So the poll question is, and the wording is wrong because I was typing it fast, but I'm gonna read it so that pardon my English.
How you meant it to be.
Yeah. How would you classify Fred Warner's hit on DK Metcalf? Dirty, a sucker move, clean, or payback?
A, B, and D. It was almost all the above. If you ain't put C in there, I'd have been on all of them.
Yeah.
Because
when I first seen it in real time, it didn't look as bad. And then when I saw it in the replay time, I'm like, why would he do that? So there's always
that was some sucker shit that Fred Warner did to DK Metcalf.
I don't think it was sucker stuff though. I don't think it was sucker stuff. Now I want to get your take on it because I thought your take on Twitter, I thought it was pretty good. But I want to get your take on it here.
So he had the interception. Okay.
Yeah.
DK is behind him. Like I'm talking like crotch to buttocks behind him.
Correct.
Okay. He's trying to bring him down. Fred Warner's got the wide base. He can't. He doesn't even suplex him. It's more of a roll backwards. He tackled him backwards. Completely legal. Everything was legal. Fred, everything DK did was legal.
Nah.
Yes.
No.
1,000%. Everything DK did was legal.
I'm sorry. My bad.
So he pulls him backwards. Fred didn't like the physical nature in which he tackled him. And while DK is sitting on the ground with both legs extended out in front of him, Fred Warner gets up and dives with his forearms to the back of his helmet. If you have ever played any kind of contact sport, the one thing they tell you to do is not hit people in the back of the head. I don't care if you're boxing, kickboxing, all of that. They tell you don't hit people in the back of the head. That's why I said that's some suckers-ish by Fred Warner. That was uncalled for.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that hit. I think that tackle was the same way I watched Dre Greenlaw tackle people. It's just Greenlaw is stronger and it looks, hold on, and it looks like it's with more force. Like DK Metcalf had to put all his weight to get a player that was going forward back. So it was a suplex. I don't care. It was still a suplex. It might have been it might have been a side suplex. It might have, at the end of the day, it was still a suplex. Suplex is a suplex. So if
and it's legal in the NFL.
But but not when Dre Greenlaw does it.
No, listen, y'all. Y'all have to stop conflating the points.
I'm
Dre
not
Greenlaw
conflating
got
the point.
listen to me. Dre Greenlaw got fined and flagged because he suplexed somebody out of bounds. Don't worry about where his feet were when he started. The kid landed out of bounds on his back. That's why Dre Greenlaw was flagged. When he does it inbounds, he does not get fined for it.
Flagged is fine. Fined is wrong. So flagged is fine. I didn't know you can get fined from a flag from an out of bounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's when you tackle out of bounds, it's called unnecessary roughness. People get fined for it every week. Every single week. We've seen people push people and get fined for it.
Yeah, there's other versions of unnecessary roughness, but like, to me, that shouldn't result in that type of a fine. But I get it. That's the rule.
Right.
Right.
And now when you go back and you watch Greenlaw last week, all 4 of their feet, his 2 and Devontae Smith's 2, are inbounds at the point of contact.
At the point of the contact, right. It's just unfortunately he didn't turn him into bounds. If he would have turned him into bounds, you're saying that would have been illegal. That would have been legal.
We've seen him do it and not get flagged. Where he turned around and looked for a flag and was like, all right, let's keep it moving. We've seen that happen. It's not an illegal tackle.
We've seen him do it too and get flagged for it. I think it's inconsistent, and I think that's the point. I think in Fred Warner's defense, I think he felt like that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, you get, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna take it to the hood. He got boofed, opposed to suplex. Like that's kind of what you call it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Warner didn't think it was gonna happen. Dude was trying to boof him because he thought he had the ball in his hand and was trying to make the tackle. Warner had flipped the ball out for the lateral play. It's just weird though, because to me, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I see it. Plus, I don't know what else transpired throughout the rest of the game. So, like,
Fred Warner, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what was said. I don't know if other stuff happened prior to that. You don't know what was built up. All I know was Metcalf initiated the contact. Dude didn't have the ball in his hand. Maybe Fred felt like he shouldn't have tackled him like that. As far as that hit that you're talking about, that's a sucker hit. It's
illegal. It's illegal.
I don't know if it's illegal, but they ain't call it.
You can't block in the back, even if it was because of the lateral. The play was ahead of him, and he hit him anyway. He lateraled the ball, and my man took off, and then he hits him in the back. That's illegal. You can't block in the back. There's no play in the entire NFL where making contact with somebody to their back to you is legal.
And I agree with that.
But Niner fans are capping so hard for Fred Warner in the situation.
They're capping for Fred Warner from the situation because of what transpired and what initiated it. So that's what it is. I don't think anybody out here. It doesn't matter if it was legal. It was uncalled for to people. People feel like it was uncalled for. What you're saying is illegal. What you're saying is right. It was illegal. I don't think Fred Warner should have did that. When I first watched it, I'm like, why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? I didn't see the why at first. So I'm like, why would Fred do that? Now I'm seeing the why. Dude got boofed, and then he responded. It was just a retaliation, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. And usually, the second person is the one that get called for the penalty. So the refs probably didn't see what Fred Warner did. That doesn't mean he won't get a fine come next week. Get what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, I'm 100% certain they didn't see it because the flag that actually came out during the play was for a forward lateral. Because
they
Fred
thought
Warner
it was
facing
forward lateral. It was never called for a forward lateral.
Well, because of the offsetting penalties and all that stuff, they just said forget all it. But
I'm just saying they never even called. The commentator said it should have been a forward. Greg Olsen said it should have been a forward, but that doesn't mean it was a forward lateral because it was never even called.
Right, and I think during the practice,
it didn't look like a forward lateral. It looked like a lateral. It looked like Greenlaw was behind him, and he lateraled the ball to him.
With all of the scuffling and all that took place afterwards, I think that the last thing on their mind was that forward lateral. So they had to say who's getting ejected, why, which guy, both guys. What was the
penalty that
all that? It was 2 unnecessary roughnesses on DK and Lenore. So those 2 guys got ejected.
So that could have been the flag. Right?
No, it couldn't have been the flag.
So they didn't throw. So they threw 3 flags.
They threw 3 flags in a hat. So it was four.
Well, it was when you throw a hat, that's a whole different.
Well, when you throw a hat, it's because you don't have no more flags. That guy had already thrown the flag. Yes. There's no nah. So if it was on the sideline, officials throw a thing for an eligible guy that ran out of bounds, right, and he's got to reestablish himself. That's on like punt coverages or wide receivers running routes and stuff like that. This happening in the middle of the field, a black official that threw his hat had already thrown his yellow flag. They don't carry multiple yellow flags to keep throwing. So after that, you start throwing other items. So he threw two flags. But here's my whole point. DK was wrong for how he reacted to Fred Warner's hit in the back of his head. Fred Warner was wrong for how he reacted to DK's legal tackle. I still think DK is a beep. I can't say because it's a kid show, and I'm sorry for my 2 slip-ups earlier. So he needs to get his emotions in check.
I think they both do, though. Like, at the end of the day, like, both players got to find a way to be emotionless. But how can you be emotionless when you play such an aggressive sport that you want to win? Like at some point, like, it's okay to be emotional, right? Like, but if it's gonna hurt the team with some type of a negative penalty, now in hindsight, they got to get their emotions in check.
And I'll tell you what, the Niners got lucky that the officials decided to eject DK, because if they had just thrown out Lenore for jumping on the top of that pile, now we down 2 starting corners
for pushing.
Well, it was for getting back involved. They said he threw a punch. I didn't see a punch, but I'm not saying that it did happen.
I thought he inadvertently hit Jake Bobo like with his fist, but that's not why he got ejected. He got ejected for putting his hands on DK Metcalf when Metcalf had Fred Warner's face mask locked. He shoved Metcalf, right, so he got in it, right, and he was ejected for that. From what I thought.
And what I'm saying is, we, the Niners, and our defense got lucky that Metcalf was also ejected at the same time, because if not, we'd have been down 2 starting corners.
Yeah.
We'd have lost 2 defensive linemen in that game, and there was a chance. There was still time. That game could have got ugly for the Niners. It could have got real ugly.
I mean, it could have, because you're saying now, well, I mean, I don't know. I still would have trusted Ambry and whoever else.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, I would have trusted it over Jackson
Oliver,
Smith.
Ryan.
You would have had to. Ryan would have had to play safety. He wasn't coming in as a cornerback.
People, listen. I understand that we all want to hate on Metcalf. Metcalf was cooking, and by the way, I think his frustration was boiling over.
He was cooking for 1 quarter, Mike, and then they shut him down.
No, that's not true. No. That is true at all. That's not true.
So what happened?
You're talking about stats wise. Cool. He had those 2 receptions, and that was the end of it, right? And that's what he finished the game with. But his frustrations were boiling over due to what was happening with play calling and Drew Lock. After his first 2 receptions, the Niners were in scramble mode. We got to adjust. So because they did a breakdown of it during the game. The Niners defenders couldn't stick with him, but they weren't throwing him the ball. So by the time we actually decided, then they were breaking everything up. That's why he was getting frustrated, because I'm running these routes. They can't stick with me. Mooney Ward is out of here.
I'm not saying he wasn't frustrated, but don't tell me like he was cooking. Like
I'm talking about routes. I'm not talking about production. I'm talking about he was routing the Niners guys. Come on, y'all. Don't act like y'all don't understand what I'm saying. We've seen plays where Brandon Ayuk is cooking people, just not getting the ball. When I say he's cooking, that's what I'm talking about. How is it that we only see positive because it's not on our team? Like, I don't understand what we're saying. They could not cover.
What I'm saying is, I don't like your terminology for cooking, because when you're cooking, it comes with production. And if you're gonna say he was running his routes and cooking on his routes, then be specific and say he was cooking on his routes.
That's what I'm clarifying. Yeah,
you just did, but that's not what you initially said. You said he was cooking, and I said he wasn't cooking, and that's why we get in the discourse, because you get what I'm saying. Like, that's what you said. I'm saying he wasn't cooking, and because statistically, whether they threw to him or not, that ain't the Niners' fault. That's their dumbasses' fault.
And that's why he was getting mad on the sideline, breaking
and that's where he needed where he needed to control his freaking emotions. But it ain't his fault that the Niners got in his head, his own team got in his head. That's something. Those are the demons he got to live with. I will say this: Fred Warner was wrong. Period. End of discussion. No need to hit the player in the back of the head. Point blank, period. Fred, I don't want to say that was dirty, but that was wrong.
I respect
dirty. Dirty? I don't know. Because it was like a retaliation. But it was definitely the wrong move from a captain.
How can you say it's not dirty if you're going to call it retaliation? Tell me a positive retaliation. Tell me clean retaliation. What you talking about?
I mean, you could have went up to him and been like, yo, don't do that no more. That would have been clean retaliation. Like, why you hit me? Why you hit me like that? Why you suplex me like that?
Usually he got Fred up and Warner, was like, yo, what you hit me like that for?
Usually Fred Warner does that. So something else went down throughout this game that we don't know about.
Ultra male competitors. Yeah. They chirp at each other during the game. If me and you was out there playing one-on-one, matter of fact, we were talking junk playing cornhole. Imagine us playing something physical.
No. And I get that, Mike. That's why I'm not like, that's what I'm saying. But I ain't disrespect you though. There's difference between ultra male competitiveness and me disrespecting you. And you know where I'm going with this because you know from being in it, like what some of the things that be said on the football field. Now you got to be able to channel that in and just let it roll off. But
for sure.
I just think between them two, it's you know what? It's all Mooney Ward's fault. The dude hurt his groin. If that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because DK wouldn't even be able to cook, period. And it happened on the one play he hurt his groin. That was the big play.
Mm-hmm.
God dang, my voice ain't never coming back. I gotta keep it to a minimum though.
DK is an immature pro. Lockett watches over him.
I don't think he's immature. Like I don't get immaturity from him, but
I think he's emotional, and I think it's a little bit of rage.
I get emotional. That's what I get. Because when you're great and you want to prove that you're great,
yeah.
And then
when you're in a position, there it is. Say it. Finish it. That's it. What you were about to say.
That's my point. Like, but when your team doesn't want to showcase the greatness, is that him being selfish? No, because I've seen great wide receivers tell their quarterbacks to throw the damn ball all the time.
Ball.
So what's the problem with him
Moss.
doing it though? Is it because he showcases his emotions by slamming the helmet?
We hate Seattle. That's why.
No. I'm gonna hate Seattle for the rest of my life. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's players that I respected even from Seattle. Like I respected the hell out of Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alexander because I can't name two of them.
Sean Alexander? No.
Yeah, I thought that's where he was going to go.
But you know what I'm saying? There's certain play. And listen, the Niners needed to figure out how to stop him, and they couldn't at that time. That was, everybody keeps saying it was Russell Wilson, and it was. Russell Wilson owned the Niners, but Marshawn Lynch was a key piece in that. Like, key.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. 100%, man. Yeah. And so that's all. I got tired of, like, I'm looking online, people saying, oh my God, he can't tackle Fred Warner like that. And I'm like, yo, yeah, that's a legal tackle. Yes, he can. And
I want to put out there that I never said that he couldn't. I'm telling you what started it. So my take was, this is what started that push in the back. Like, it was from that tackle.
Right.
If y'all didn't see it, because what was happening was Seattle Seahawks fans that were putting it out, you know what I'm saying, was like, oh, yeah, Fred, dirty player, this is that, and the third. And I'm like, well, show the whole clip. And so I got the whole clip, put the whole clip out. This is what initiated. First of all,
I defended Seattle players because they didn't need to show the legal part of the play. And that's how I got in the back and forth with you and the Niner faithful. That's where it came from. Seattle, I defended what Metcalf did. Seattle
didn't need to show the illegal play. You said the illegal play?
Yeah, you said show. Your stance was
because there's context, right? And so, like, if you're gonna talk about context, why not show the context? So why not show what was the cause of the effect?
Because
you can't have an effect without the cause. It doesn't matter if it's legal or not, but just show the cause. So that way, people can. All I'm saying is, Mike, if you want people to formulate their own opinions off of certain things, then give them both sides and let them figure it out.
Respect. Now watch this. Quick question. Let's say forget DK. Brandon Ayuk is one-on-one with Jamal Adams, and he hits him with a filthy triple move. Adams falls down. Ayuk catches the ball, touchdown. He does this and does 33, can't cover me. And now Jamal Adams runs across the field and punches him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
What highlight are you going to show to say Jamal Adams is a dirty player? You going to show the route and the touchdown? No, because that ain't had nothing to do. That was legal. You're not going to show that part. You're going to show him running up across the field, being mad that he got cooked and hitting him. There's no need to show the legal part of the play. So I wasn't mad at Seattle fans for showing the legal tackle that DK made. That's what I'm saying. Y'all were like, oh, you ain't show everything. You ain't show everything because that other part was irrelevant.
I feel like them two things just don't add up. But okay.
I was boisterous with my example.
No, you wasn't boisterous. I just think they're two different scenarios. Nobody punched nobody in the face. That's number one. And number two,
I think you don't think he would have hit him if that helmet wasn't on.
Nah, most people in the NFL, they punks. They ain't fighting. Like most of them not.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
But my point, the reason why I thought that was a little outlandish is because Jamal Adams ain't that dumb and he would never do anything like that.
Right.
I don't think I've seen any player do that. Like if you went to like when okay, let's be honest. Like when's the last time we saw a fight, like a fight that really stood out? Because the NFL like forbids fighting. I'm gonna go Johnson and Andre Johnson and
Finnegan. Cortland
Finnegan. That's the only thing that stands in my mind. I can't think of another fight where they just let them fight. At that point, they knew they was getting ejected, and they didn't care.
He said Dion for his rising. We wanted the most recent one. He took us back.
But I remember that too. I remember that. I remember that. But it got to be the Finnegan joint because Andre Johnson the only non-sucker in the NFL. Like I thought that's how DK Metcalf would have ended up being. He got the same physique, but I just don't think he about that life. Now, is he gonna go grab the dude face mask? Well, and you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. Fred Warner, accept your fine, give your apology if you feel like you need to apologize, and keep it moving.
Yeah, and I ain't like what Fred did at the podium either. I don't know why he was so upset. Come on, bro. Like that's lame. All that was lame. I ain't like that. But again, I'm someone who appreciates and boxed, and I know how serious it is to hit somebody in the back of the head, especially when they don't expect it. Like that's not cool. And I think that's why I took it so personal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why it bothered me so much. Oh, and I know we over time. I know we got to get out of here, and this is not the topic on the show at all. Kyle Shanahan did not put out a bonus for anybody that frustrated DK Metcalf. That was complete
who
BS.
Came up with that anyway?
Mike Silver's dumbass did that. And I hate that. I can't stand that. Kyle did not do that.
Like, that didn't even sound like Kyle Shanahan.
No, not at all. Tonga says, Mike, the tackle was illegal because Warner did not have the ball when he suplexed him by rule. And while I understand what you're saying, the thing is, they won't flag DK for that because he didn't have a way of knowing that Fred Warner tossed the ball. It was stomach to back. He can't see where the ball is. So you don't get in trouble for that. So it was not illegal. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you trying to explain it. I understand what he's saying. You can't tackle anybody who doesn't have the ball in the NFL. So I do get what he's saying in that sense. I'm talking about the suplex in particular. It's not an illegal tackle in the NFL. And that's what people have to understand.
As long as it's in bounds.
Bong.
Okay. Well, 65% of the votes on the channel said that it was payback.
Because they're Niner fans. Of course that's what they're going to say.
I mean, duh, but I mean, if you look at both sides, that's what you're going to get. Like, you're going to get payback. It's the retaliation thing. If you punch me, I'm going to punch you back.
Right.
What would have been better if Fred Warner suplexed him back? Like that's like,
yeah. Wait till he gets the ball again, and then now you. No.
I mean, right then and there, ain't nobody waiting. If Fred felt like he got slammed on his head, ain't no waiting.
Getting out of here. I'm going to take a nice hot shower. I see the comments. I see people join late. Listen, everything was well explained. I promise y'all. Everything was well explained. I think we did a good job in this one. I think this was a really good back and forth.
I just didn't think that at the end of the day, I still think Fred Warner's I thought that was the wrong way to retaliate. Like I like not that hit. Like not that hit. Cause that was in the back of his head. Like that's what I saw.
Yes.
And I know everybody else saw it too. And the Seahawks fans that put it out there, their take was specifically like, oh yeah, well, he had a neck injury in college, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, ain't no Niner fan gonna know that, but like that was their thing. But at the end of the day, I think Fred gotta do better. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, I will give Fred his props for this. Because ain't no way on God's earth no man gonna have me by my face mask blowing his hot, angry breath in my face, and I'm just gonna stand there.
Yo,
bravo to Fred for that.
Well, at that point, you could tell Fred realized this is about the team.
Yeah.
He didn't get called for the illegal hit. He got away with one. Let's just say it.
Yes.
And
for sure.
And then he realized, like, oh snap! He's reacting. They see it. He'll get the penalty. Because I'm with you, Mike. Yeah. Not two hands on the face. Not even one hand on the face mask.
One on the face mask is too long. My man had them both. Like he was talking to him like you talk to a puppy or something. Like, hey, don't pee on my couch. Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
My man was Christ on the cross out there.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here, y'all. Y'all got a little bit of overtime because this was very passionate, man. Now, I like this. I haven't had a good debate in a long time, man. That was a lot of fun, respectful, and I like even taking the side of the people that don't like my take. Because I stand in what I'm saying. This wasn't just for show either. I think that, we went over it already, but that's it, man. Wayne, any final thoughts? Let's go home, man.
Nah, man, look, the good news is the Niners are 10-3. They got the number 1 seed. And they control their own destiny. Nitty Gritty Niners Talk tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the channel. Destiny is ours. We control it. We're in control.
And that's all you ever want. No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul. Peace.